When I was first elected, the first order of business was to create special victims units. So we did that in a number of areas, but specifically in domestic violence, child abuse, and elder abuse cases. So we started immediately looking at how we can do a better job in those areas. That began 20 years ago, and that fight continues today. You guys, people here on the panel and the people certainly in the audience, you guys understand that better than most. The success our SUV units have accomplished led to my participation in a statewide task force convened by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, which is now chaired by Chief Justice Deborah Todd. That began in 2013 with the task force, and from that, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court created an advisory council, which I have had the privilege of sitting on for the 8 years that it has existed. So our issues here in Western Pennsylvania, we get a chance to compare ourselves to the rest of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And your counterparts, by the way, all over Pennsylvania are just wonderful people also. But we're better than them. I can honestly say that we are better. I'm in a friendly forum, so I can say that, and I'm comfortable saying it, but we are. And we've done some things that have really been outstanding. And we've led this Commonwealth in a number of things, and we've learned from other people's experiences. And these guys have carried out a plan like nobody else in Pennsylvania. There's some things we have to do. From those communications, from the being able to sit down with the people in Harrisburg and across Pennsylvania, it became clear we have to combat reluctance of senior citizens to press charges. They don't want to get people in trouble. We understand that. That's especially true when somebody who is providing services is a relative of that person. Just last week alone, I think I reviewed 3 different cases where somebody who is a relative of a senior was actually stealing from them. And the senior, the ladies and gentlemen involved, they really did not want to press charges. So there's a relationship that needs to be developed, and you guys have certainly done that, and I sincerely appreciate that, because I want to go out and I want to take the guy off the street. But you know, it's sometimes a problematic situation. We have to ease the fears of our seniors by testifying. Victims have nothing to be ashamed of. You guys have been hugely, the Center for Victims and the other victims agents, you guys have been huge in making sure that people understand that. It's the other person that should be ashamed, and we do our best to make sure that the public understands that. We actually provided a means to travel to the courts. Back when Yellow Cab was doing much better than Uber, I think, at the time, I went to Yellow Cab and I said, we need a conveyance. And they said, okay, Steve, what do you want to do? So they gave us a minivan. And we outfitted the minivan, and the Sheriff's Department became a partner in that endeavor. And we've actually done that for our community, and we've done it for quite some time. We have to expedite scheduling. The most fundamental trial tactic by a criminal defense lawyer, especially when the victim is older, is you delay the case, you delay the case, you delay the case. So we've tried to expedite that, and you're going to hear from Julie Capone this morning, who may be small in stature, but she is a hell of a prosecutor, and she's taken down some of the largest, ugly people in our community. I don't know how to describe it. I can describe it differently, but I have ladies in the room, and I can't say that this morning. We've enlisted a number of experts, but I think when you get right down to it, it's the relationship that you guys have in the community. It's the relationship you have with your clients. I don't know, do you guys call them clients, patients, friends? And that makes all the difference in the world. Because when they get to that courthouse, they are surrounded by their friends. And I'll tell you this, too, as a general proposition, we couldn't run that courthouse without a really effective victims community. We couldn't. We couldn't. It's very detached. It's very cold. The courthouse, as beautiful as it is not a place that you want to be. Certainly not if you're an innocent person or you're the victim of a crime. An organized and systematic outreach for seniors. You guys have done that. This building is it's beautiful. And we were talking about the decorations before, and I'll tell you what, if I had to pay for an interior designer to do what you guys have done on staff, I don't think we could afford it, but congratulations. So we created the so participating with the Supreme Court and with people across Pennsylvania, we created a Senior Justice Advisory Program back in 2015. And the best person, the only person I could think to head that up, was Dick Scringer. Dick is here this morning, and I'll give you a little bit more about his bio before he has the opportunity to take the podium. But we started that in 2015. It was intended to supplement the special units for victims, and it certainly has done that. He's going to give you some of the success stories that we've had. Unfortunately, we have some failures along the way. But as a large community that we live in, that's expected. Nearly 33% of the people in Allegheny County are over the age of 60. That's a large population to service, 300,000 men and women who live in this community. And I can honestly say, and I could say with all candor, that you guys have reached a large majority of those persons, whether it's in person or through the schemes we put in place or the other means of communication. You guys have done a really, really good job. So the persons we met face-to-face with over the last 8 years, they've learned their priority, our priority, and together the community's priority is their safety, their health, and their finances. And just one of the things I'm really proud of, what these guys have done, what you guys have done collectively, is that we've saved senior citizens in this community over $35 million during the course of that program in unnecessary expenditures on frauds. That's how often seniors are targeted for financial elder abuse. How often? And to save that much money, and that's a drastic understatement, I think, of what we've actually accomplished for them.